Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, August 16th, 2024, as we come together as a community to go ahead and talk about the things that are imminent. Yes, today we are talking about Lou's new book, Imminent, that's going to be coming out in about 4 days, I believe. The first reviews have hit from the Washington Post, not from none other than Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal. We're going to be covering that tonight, as well as talking about the latest in UFO news. Yes, it should be a fun evening, but before we get too far, it's that time of the night to go ahead and welcome in our wonderful audience. Who the heck do we have out there? Let's go ahead and take a look and see who's in our audience tonight. Well, if you look at that, it's Ann Joanne, Aubrey McLeod, Brian Morgan, Bruce made it in along with Elmer Whitaker, Eric Roth and the Gurus popped up along with Firefly Frankenstein, Idaho Strong, Jane, J-Cat, Kathy, Kelly Bro, and those piercing blue eyes. Right back at you, Kelly. King Bull's here along with Little Schism. I always get that wrong, but Little's here. Lon made it in. Good to see you, Lon. You're new. Metal Gaming made it in. Martin, Mick. Niles Guy is here along with Peggy and Peggy and Steve. South Florida friends, including Crockett and Tubbs, unless they're no longer with you, but I think they are, Peggy. Reality Check VIP is around. He is in the back, and he's in the chat. We are so humbled to have dear Harold with us today. Stephen Forbes is around, along with Tom Whitmore, Truth Seeker, and, of course, the one, the only, the last person in our chat, Wildcat Mahone. How about that? Let's have a fun time, my friends. Let's have a fun time because, we've reached that time of the night, my friends, where it's time to welcome in the Backroom chat. Remember, we are the only UFO live stream out there, one of the only shows for that matter, that has an open viewer call-in. Do us a favor, folks. If you want to be part of the show, follow that link at the top of the chat and come on in. Raise your hand, and we're happy to call on you and hear what you have to say. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes. Tia, you're not. You are. Oh, Tia is here, but she's not here. Oh, there she is. On that note, she just popped in. Let's go ahead and welcome in our back chat. Who can we have here today? Let's welcome in our very own Hollywood Harold. How's it going, Harold? Welcome, my friend.
That seems to be going pretty good here tonight. I got ice on my ankle here, trying to keep my ankle from going crazy, and just gonna lay back and watch and see what you got for us tonight.
Oh, they say ice helps. To the doctors, my friend.
Yep.
But keep it elevated. Keep it above your heart. Maybe it'll help keep the swelling down a little bit. We talked to you on the show afterwards, my friend, because, oh, I know what it's like. Every freaking step we take, sometimes the pain is just like, why? But thank you for coming here, Harold.
Did not know it was that bad of a deal. Tendonitis. Who knew, right?
If that's what it really is, we'll find out after the show, my friend. Also in the back, we have our dear friend, a remote viewing targeter. Let's welcome in our very own Laura Campbell. How's it going, Laura?
It's going great, Thomas. We did a lot of projects this week, and it's just a matter of what we should share tonight.
Oh, there you go. Can't wait to see it till you get the lighting project on the top of those cabinets, because it will make them pop. Sorry, I did that in my house. That was one of the first things I did, and it just really sets off the room. Because if you go to Vegas, it's not about the architecture. It's not about the designs. It's about the lighting that makes everything pop. We have a T-Mobile World Headquarters here on the way to work. And when they cast that uplighting in that fuchsia color across the building, it just changes everything. So can't wait to see her change her perspective. Thank you for coming in today, Laura.
You're welcome.
Also coming to us from the great country of Canada, the place where all the users silent. Let's welcome in Mr. Michael Sukloff. How's it going, Michael?
It's going good, Thomas. We're going to have a good show tonight, right?
Well, I certainly hope so. We can only do as good as we can as the news possibly gets us. Well, since she popped up and she is over adventurous tonight, let's welcome in our very own from upstate New York, actually from New York, Manhattan, I think. Let's welcome in Tia Loreno. How's it going, Tia?
Hey, Happy Friday, guys. I got here just a little bit late. I was like knocking outside the door. I was like, hello, let me in.
We didn't see you knocking, but I'm glad you knocked enough because we heard you knocking. Hey,
I was
thanks for coming in,
talking
my
the
dear
chat.
lady. Yes.
I'm happy to see you, Thomas.
Happy to see you here as well, my dear lady. Also in the back, we've got our friend. Let's flip the continents. Actually, let's flip the globe and turn it upside down and welcome in our very own none of your business. Well, you could say it's none of your business, but it's our own Susan Ford coming to us from Australia. How's it going, Susan?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good, Thomas. How's it going for you?
Well, you've gotten your voice a little bit deeper there, Nunya. Are you feeling all right, or are you coming over a cold?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just, I've only not long woke up. Lazy little thing I am.
Well, there you go. Now we know. Yes, well, on the opposite side of the world, and flip it up, the world upside down one more time. Let's welcome in our dear friend from Southern California, the place he ought to be. Let's welcome in Faze Will. How's it going, William?
Hell yeah. Hey, Thomas, it's a privilege to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a regular supporter of Disclosure tonight. I can't wait to get onto the show to figure out where we're going to get to next. On that note, let me turn that off and jump back into the studio. Holy cow. What an interesting show, an interesting week. Yes, we've got 4 days left until the book from Luis Elizondo comes out called Imminent. Yes, I know a lot of people out there have actually had their chance to read 18 chapters potentially. Thank you to our publishing friends in the UK who accidentally filled out some forms on Google to go ahead and release the book before it should have come out. But if you've had a chance to read it, it has been phenomenal. It is a must read. If you love Luis Elizondo, it's worth it. Get the hardback. Don't wait for the paper book. And if you're one of those people like myself who drives to and from work every day, consider not only the written book, but also consider the audiobook because it's something that's very interesting. Now, before we get into the book of Disclosure is Imminent, or more importantly, talking about the review that we've got about that book, let's get into it, shall we? I think so. I don't want to ruin anyone's thoughts on this one tonight. Let's have some fun. Now, we're talking about a memoir which offers an insider's perspective into the Pentagon's UFO hunt. This is coming to us, of course, from... Please come and get him. Moose is getting called for a walk right now. And I'm not going to have a chance to bring him upstairs to get to the walk. Hopefully, Luke will go ahead and bring him there. Where is this at? No, I thought I had some more windows open here. Oh, yes. Blue, there we go. I want to bring up this picture here. This is a good one, and I've got another one. Moose, go upstairs, boy. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, good boy. Come on. He's hiding here somewhere, Luke, if you can find him. There you got him, Luke? Perfect. Let me just get this up here where I have the book in front of me. It's better than a bottle in front of me or a frontal lobotomy for that matter. I just want to be able to bring up some pictures as we're going ahead and talking about it. All right, where is I at? Here we go. Let's get into solo. All right, getting into the inside the Pentagon's hunt for UFOs imminent. Now we're talking about a review that came out from Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Keene. If you're not sure who they are, those are the two reporters that broke Lou's story back in 2017. Let's get into their review of that. So Luis Elizondo made headlines in 2017 when he resigned from his senior intelligence official running a shadowy program investigating UFOs and publicly denounced the excessive secrecy, lack of resources, and internal opposition that he said were thwarting the effort. And you know what, my friends? It hasn't stopped. If anything, over the last year, it's ratcheted up. Over the last 6 months, it's ratcheted up to even more, to where I think we kind of hit peak disclosure interest about a year ago when we had the UAPDA pop. And since then, it's been kind of waning along those lines. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. So finally, Lou's book, Imminent, is on its way. Now, in this book, Elizondo's disclosures has created a sensation. They were buttressed by explosive videos and testimony from Navy pilots like Ryan Graves and David Fravor, who had encountered unexplained aerial phenomena and led to congressional inquiries, legislation in a 2023 House hearing in which the former U.S. intelligence official testified. We're talking about David Grush here. Where is he? And that he and other federal government has retrieved crashed objects of non-human origin. Now remember, David Grush, who has been missing, was supposed to come out in January with an op-ed that was pushed back to February. And since then, he has been null, silent. We haven't heard anything from David Grush. Where is he? We hope he's okay. We know. Granted, there was a tweet that came out yesterday from Gary Nolan, where he basically said he's healthy. He's appearing in meetings and Zooms and DMs, but let's hope he's okay, because it's been eerily quiet after such an explosive exposition. Now, Lou Elizondo's disclosures at the time created a sensation. They were buttressed by explosive videos and testimony, of course. Now Elizondo, who is actually 52, in case you didn't know, I guess he is about 4 years younger than me, has gone farther in his new memoir, as they're now calling it. In the book, he asserted that a decades-long, more like 78 years long, UFO crash retrieval program has been operating as a super-secret umbrella group made up of government officials working with defense. Where did that go? Working with the defense and aerospace contractors. Over the years, Lou wrote, technology and biological remains of non-human origin have been retrieved from these crashes. Quote, humanity is, in fact, not only the intelligent life in the universe, is not the only intelligent life in this universe, and not the alpha species, Elizondo wrote. And that takes us back to not the alpha species. We've heard not at the top of the food chain. We've heard that this is a farm. What are they farming us for? Is it for biological material? Is it for consciousness? Is it for something greater? To be told in a future book from Lou, maybe others. The book Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs, is being published by HarperCollins on August 20th. 4 days away, folks. After a year-long security review by the Pentagon. And remember, Pentagon clearances do not imply endorsement. The New York Times obtained an advance copy of Imminent under embargo, which unfortunately, those here at Disclosure Channel, although we've been promised a signed book from Lou Elizondo personally, we don't have that in our hands yet, Lou. The Pentagon program currently working to address the sightings of UFOs, or UAP, as they're now called, continues its reviews of the historical record of U.S. government UAP programs, said Susan Goff, a Department of Defense spokesperson. Yes, remember, Susan Goff is the only spokesperson for UAP for the entirety of the federal government, period. Department of Education, Department of Commerce, Department of Anywhere pops up and has questions about UAP. Only Susan Goff. Sounds like a cough that you want to get rid of and clear out of your throat. There you go, Susan. Today, Goff has added the program has not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate the claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials has existed in the past or existed currently. Well, no verifiable information, not that information is available which shows it, which means they're saying that RO, remember, the guy who was in charge of RO was also in charge of counterintelligence, and as he has said in the past, the public should expect anything that I tell them should be a lie. Yeah. But, away from the article for a sec, we have to understand and realize that Sean Kirkpatrick was very, very effective for 4 to 5 months without any pushback whatsoever from Lou or the Disclosure team to actually push back against it. Granted, there's been some pushback recently. Sean Kirkpatrick had the ear of the media, go figure, to go ahead and twist public opinion away from anything we even got coming out of David Grush. You know, I think we're going to have to come down to the point. I think we're seriously going to have to come down to the point to where we are going to have an alien life form come out on a stage and or a broken UFO be wheeled out by forklifts to go ahead and show the people of the world what has truly come out for people to really believe and understand what's going on. We had David Grush. Where did David Grush get us? A lot of hype. But did it move the needle? If Sean Kirkpatrick can move it back? No, we need more than whistleblowers, folks. We need factual evidence to bring forward the truth. Prove me wrong on this one. Now, Luis Elizondo for years was a high-ranking military intelligence officer and ran a highly classified program for both the White House and the National Security Council. In 2009, he was recruited into the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which investigated UFOs. Let's be honest. He was brought into OSAP, which had a sub-program called ATIP. And when Lou explained it to me in an off-the-record call, but I'll bring into the record for that matter, he was handed the portfolio of OSAP in the morning. And by the evening of that same day, everything OSAP was shut down. And the only thing that remained at the end of the day was OSAP. Getting into this, in IMMINENT, the book we're talking about here today, Elizondo described his struggle. Let me get up the chat at this point if it's going on. Sorry about that, folks. David Jones, I want to thank you very much. Yes, it is his Fuck You Friday on right. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Mike. Yes, Mike is out today. He's dealing with the Fuck You of Fridays, my friend, but he was here in the back before the show started. Thank you very much. I appreciate that super chat, David Jones. Hopefully your locker is suiting you well. Let's get back into this. All right. So in IMMINENT, Luis Elizondo described his struggle within the program to investigate the phenomena and his efforts since his resignation in 2017 to push for greater transparency on what officially is known about UAP. He also wrote about his personal encounters with UAP, green orbs that he said visited his home while he worked for the DOD. How about that? In the book, he expressed alarm over the potential danger to humanity posed by the existence of technology that he said far exceeds what the United States or other countries have or can explain. But here's the thing, folks. That technology has been around for thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. So we can say that, oh my God, look at this technology. It far exceeds what we can do when we had our first planes going up into the air. We saw that well over 100 years ago. Let's be honest about that. Now, Elizondo wrote that the craft of the non-human intelligence controlling and present. Okay, we got that one. In a forward to the book, which we've read here in Disclosure tonight, Christopher Mellon, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, wrote that without Elizondo, quote, the U.S. government would still be denying the existence of UAP and failing to investigate a phenomenon that may be the greatest discovery in human history. That's the truth. What we have going on is we have a government that is trying to hide the existence of a completely different type of entities that are living on this planet, but because they have advanced technology, we can't talk about it because it's a matter of national security, more so that it might literally inspire our enemies as to what's around us. Let's just be honest. UFOs are not unique to the United States. They're in North America, they're in Central America, they're in South America, they're in Asia, they're in Eastern Asia, Southern Asia, they're everywhere around the world. So to go ahead and say we can't inspire our enemies about this, no, it's not about inspiring our enemies, it's about inspiring the general population to give us an idea that this stuff exists and our governments that we think have so much control actually have little control over this particular part of our reality. Now, the program led by Elizondo investigated sightings, near misses, and other encounters between UAP and Navy jets. It also collected data from incidents involving military intelligence operations, including images of extraordinary craft maneuvers that were repeatedly captured by sophisticated sensors. Now, while we've had Sean Kirkpatrick trying to explain away these particular incidents that went on, he's a schmuck. His examples come from a schmuck. And it's just one of those things we just have to think of anything we hear coming from Sean Kirkpatrick and say,
oh, a bullshit artist.
Exactly. Now, within the program, Lou said he learned that vehicles demonstrating, quote, beyond next generation technology, better yet technology that has not been achieved by anyone on this planet, have been observed since the 1940s. In the early 1950s, when UFOs became a Cold War national security concern, strict secrecy was enforced. Whomever controlled such technology would control the world, Elizondo wrote. But yes, that's the fact. But it's not just that. Those who control that technology, it isn't just about military. It's about bringing the entirety of civilization to the forefront. But the truth of the matter is, it's all about the military war machine. It's about militarizing this technology, not necessarily about taking this technology and advancing humanity as a whole. That's where the mixed up part of our government has gotten us, and it's a sad, sad fate for all of us. Now, much of the information collected by this program remains classified, but two unclassified Navy videos of UAP were cleared for public release at Elizondo's request and posted to the New York Times when it broke the news of the Pentagon secret UFO unit within December of 2017. Has it been that long? Yeah, it has. Unfortunately, like 7 years ago. In an interview, Lou said that he had firsthand knowledge of what he was discussing, but that his security clearances prevented him from explaining the source of his knowledge. He got Pentagon approval to publish his book partly by attributing some of the information to other sources whose comments had previously been approved. Is that David Grush? Well, maybe. Elizondo also said he was not approved to discuss his involvement in any other secret projects beyond the program he once led. Oh, wow. That makes me wonder. It makes all of us wonder. What was Lou involved in post his time with ATIP? Was he involved with the Space Force? Was he involved with other areas? He can't discuss it. Leslie Keene and Ralph Blumenthal are clear on this one, but something we're going to figure out, my friend. With no prior interest in UFOs, Lou Elizondo grew up in Florida with his dad, the son of an American mother and a Cuban father, who had fought alongside Fidel Castro, before breaking with him and joining in the 1961 Bay of Pigs invasion. I believe that was led by our CIA, for that matter. Taught to shoot, drive a motorcycle, and fly a plane by his father. I had no idea. He went to college and enlisted in the Army. He served in Afghanistan and also ran an anti-terrorism missions against ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hezbollah, and later led secret programs in Guantanamo Bay, Naval Base, and prison to pull the secrets out of those. no matter the cost, to ensure American sovereignty. In 2007, the DIA, also known as the Defense Intelligence Agency, launched the UFO-related Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program. That's OSAP. Remember, ATIP was a subsidiary of OSAP. The program was funded with $22 million. It was buried in an undeclared budget secured by the late Harry Reid, who was then the Senate Majority Leader. In 2009, Elizondo became the senior ranking officer running that program's successor, ATIP as we know it, also known as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Now remember, anything that you're going to be getting out of the government is about, especially the military, is classifying everything as a threat. Everything. Whether it's a weather front, tornado, seagulls, or a flock of Canadian geese, every single thing they look at is a threat program. So it makes no suspect to myself to say that, yeah, they call it ATIP because everything the military wants to look at is from a specific threat narrative. Now, remember that, along with James Lakatsky and Jay Stratton, who were involved in this. Lakatsky, who was a rocket scientist for the Defense Intelligence Agency, and Jay Stratton, who was an intelligence official with the U.S. Strategic Command, were both part of the precursor program. Frustrated by what he described as internal opposition and a lack of resources to deal with what he felt was a serious national security threat, Lou resigned and decided to bring his concerns to the broader intelligence community, Congress, and the public, like me and you and everybody else. There remains a vital need to ascertain capability and intent of these phenomena for the benefit of the armed forces and the nation. He wrote to James Mattis, then Secretary of Defense, in his resignation letter dated October 4th, 2017. After Lou departed, the program transitioned to become the UAP Task Force. Remember that one? That was the only part we got out of the DOD that actually accomplished anything, that actually admitted anything. That turned into the AOI MSG, which transferred into RO, and all we've heard is pushback and lies since that date. Now, by 2022, we get through there. Now, Lou said he met with the RO director, Sean Kirkpatrick, and his staff for 3 hours in a secure facility on February 2nd, 2023, and gave them classified information about the history of the crash retrieval program that has been denied since that date by Sean Kirkpatrick. And as we talked about at the starting of this, Susan Goff.
Holy cow!
Yeah, Susan Goff, we get you, my friend. You're a schmuck. Lou continues to hold the highest security clearances, unlike others we heard from a year ago that may have lost their security clearances, and to consult for the government. Yes, he's still a government contractor like he was several years ago when we broke that information here in Disclosure Tonight. A veteran scientist with top security clearances whom Elizondo quotes in the book, Harold E. Putoff. Hal Putoff, for that matter. Hal is a phenomenal friend. Heck, we've even heard he's a friend of Rick Doty. We've tried to get him on to this show through Rick, but we haven't heard anything on that front. Now, Hal Putoff was a part of Elizondo's UFO program, a physicist and engineer with a PhD from Stanford University. Putoff has worked as the chief scientist on highly classified projects for the government for over 50 years, often reporting directly to the head of the CIA and to the White House advisors. Remember, everything with the cover-up is coming from the executive branch of this government. It's a cover-up from the president's office. And you just need to open up your mind to that. The whole cover-up, it's not that the presidents aren't aware of it. The executive branch is in charge of this cover-up. Every single part of this cover-up, from the Department of Energy to the DOD and everything, all rallies under the presidency. And that's where the truth is, my friend. It's a presidential cover-up, no matter how we look at this. And potentially with the change of the and the handing of the torch from the Democrats to the Republicans, maybe we can have a chance from the man whose uncle held all the secrets on Nikola Tesla. Maybe Donald Trump will push back against the deep state to bring forward the truth we all want to know. Now, Elizondo also wrote in a memoir of personal encounters with UAP, describing green glowing orbs about the size of a basketball that invaded his home on and off for over 7 years. The objects were able to pass through walls and behaved as if they were under intelligent control. The orbs were also witnessed by his wife, Jennifer, 2 daughters, and their neighbors, he wrote. As for, quote, our friends from out of town, they do not appear to be benevolent, he wrote. Perhaps they are neutral, or they could be a threat to humanity. Again, they do not appear to be benevolent. You hear that, Larry? I know you're watching. You're the one who always says it's all rainbows and glitter and unicorns and love and joy. You follow the Stephen Greer dialogue. They do not appear to be benevolent. You got that? We wish they would all be, but here's the thing. We have more than one race of non-human intelligence here. There's a lot of them. We know there's at least one. We know there's potentially at least 2, and that's why we've had pushback on this. You just have to keep an open mind. Yeah, as for, quote, our friends from out of town, end quote, they do not appear to be benevolent, he wrote, perhaps they're neutral. We can no longer stick our heads in the sand like Stephen Greer. We know we are not alone. You better believe it. What a great book that's coming out from Luis Elizondo. Hopefully, has anybody out there in the audience gone and potentially signed up for the book to go ahead and pre-order it? I know I have. I'm going to go ahead. Let's ask in our audience right now. Let me see if I can find this. Let me get rid of the participants, bring it up, and I want to bring in a poll. I lose book, yes or no? All right, let's go ahead. And we haven't done a survey in a while here, but let's go ahead and do it. Let's find out where our audience is. Let's go ahead and turn on the pulsing. Here we go. Let's see where our audience is. Have you pre-ordered the book? Whether audiobook or not, let's see where everybody is on this particular thing. Look at that already. 59% of our audience with 37 votes in. 56% of our audience, at least 50% of our audience potentially, has pre-ordered the book. How about our friends in the back? Laura, have you pre-ordered Lou's book?
I did order the audio, but based on the remote viewing we did of the book this week, I am definitely getting a hard copy, but I would really like it autographed because of its potential to gain in value.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You know, I've been promised a autograph book without having to buy one, but you know what? I guess Lou's going to be having a whole bunch of signing events, but it's going to be virtual on a live stream where you can go ahead and pre-order the book and ask a question and get a signed book for like $35. Have you seen that or not, Laura?
I have not.
Yeah, it's one of the things out there. You should go ahead and there we go. Still about 50% of our audience. Let's take a look who else we have here. Hey, Faye as well. Have you pre-ordered a book on this one?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a couple of them. So I can
Oh,
give to
really?
my friend, one of my friend. Yep. I
Nice.
give one to my friend. Yep.
Have you heard about the effort? Lou's trying to do a GoFundMe to go ahead and provide about 500 copies of the book to the people in Congress and the people in the Senate. What do you think about that?
That's interesting to me. What do you think?
I think that's really cool. You know what? But then again, people in Washington are used to getting things for free. Tia Loreno, how about you? What say you, my friend? Have you pre-ordered a book?
I haven't, and I can't believe I haven't. I forgot, to be honest. So I'm gonna get on that because I want the hard copy and I want the one with his voice on it.
Oh, there you go. You want to get both for that matter. Let me go ahead and just kill the survey.
Where do you get it?
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Still,
do
we
that
had 47% of the people watching the show right now have pre-ordered the book. It's something that's interesting to say the absolute least.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
wait.
gonna order it right now. Actually,
Oh,
I
there
forgot
you
all
go.
about it. That's crazy.
Hollywood Herald, do you have your hand up, my friend? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to put on my pirate's uniform here to let you know my stance on the book and stuff, right? I'm waiting for it to come out in PDF, and I'll put it in my library as soon as I get it, right?
Well, you're not. If you do pre-order the book, you're not going to be able to get it turned into a PDF. Oh, you're going to pirate the thing. My gosh. Sailing the 7 seas down in the Caribbean, my friend. We got you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if I should probably share it, though. That's probably not a good idea, is it?
That's all right. You've already gotten there. I also want to go ahead and thank Faze Will for his ongoing support of Disclosure tonight. Well, we take those super chats a lot more genuine than anybody could in the Democratic Party, my friend.
You got me there.
Oh, you better believe it, my friend. Got to have some fun with it as we get through all of this. All right, where are we at? Well, Disclosure's been slow. There's not a lot of things going on right now, but you know what? One of the things we do have here is we do have an interesting clip coming to us from the Juan over on Twitter. It was actually shared to us with Nick in the back, where someone of the caliber of, where it's being speculated, coming from Matthew Pines, that someone of the caliber of David Grush, Carl Nell, Christopher Mellon, Luis Elizondo, that is a level of an individual planning to come forward later this year in support of the reality of a non-human intelligence. So we're talking about potentially not one, but 2 people coming forward to talk about the non-human intelligence. My only concern is we're dealing with a situation here in a reality where people can come out and talk about the non-human intelligence. But the truth of the matter is it going to make a difference if we have another whistleblower that comes forward? That's my concern. I think, look where we got last year with David Grush. There was a swell, there was people who were excited about it, but it was all throughout the community. That died down. Sean Kirkpatrick raised up, killed any swell that was brought up by David Grush. And where has it gone? Nowhere. And that's where I said at the start of the show, we're going to have something more than someone coming and talking about it. We're going to need something. Oh, God. We're going to need something to the caliber of bringing out a live alien on stage or a crashed craft for us to move public opinion. Your thoughts, Tia?
So I've wondered why, since Kirkpatrick has come out and really kind of, put a cork on it, where is Grush? Why hasn't he come out at least to publicly tell Kirkpatrick to buzz off or something.
Why, in other words, why hasn't David Grush or at least Luis Elizondo come out to address personally the claims that are being made by Sean Kirkpatrick, right?
Yes, that's
basically Sean Kirkpatrick, in other words, went unchallenged for many months, starting in December of last year, going well into March, April of this year, and even more recently, as of this week, and he has gone unopposed. Nobody is standing up to him, which I just don't get. How can you have a movement called Disclosure? How can you bring forward all these people that are there, and you can't say anything because of a book, because of a media deal?
I just don't
so
get it.
You're taking the entire movement you're bringing forward and you're letting it die because why? I don't get it.
That's I don't get it either. And I think that allowing Kirkpatrick to come out unopposed like that, it makes it so much harder now to get anything out. I think they should have stuck together and they should have come out like as a team against him. That's what I think.
I agree with you, Tia. It's a challenging situation we're all in. We've all seen it. We've been talking about this for a long time, and it hasn't gone anywhere.
No. And, I also, it seems like when there starts to be little rumblings, it seems to like some big stuff like news comes out and maybe you think it's big news, but it's not really big news because you've already heard it before, right? But this, all of a sudden, we're running out of time feel, and people are saying that, and I what the hell are you talking about? We're running out of time. What does that mean? What does that mean? We're running out of time. I want to know.
I can't see us running out of time. Time is infinite for that matter. Maybe they're talking about the time we're running out of on their personal agenda. But remember, Luis Elizondo said this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. But my God, this is the longest marathon I've ever heard of.
I know. And if these things are, good and bad, well, just why aren't they coming out? Why aren't they more, I don't know, active in this?
We've heard this statement, buckle up, right?
Yeah.
Lou made that a while ago. I had a show titled Buckle Up. We had Matt Ford also had a show called Buckle Up. But we recently had someone who was very following the post of Disclosure of the UFO Joe on Twitter has recently say it's time to unbuckle.
I think
and
so.
if you look at what's going on in Disclosure, it's been quieter and quieter and quieter. Now, people could say, oh my God, it's summer. But the reality is, going back 3 years at this point, if not 4 years, this is the quietest it has been on August 16th for the last 3 or 4 years. That's the truth where we're at. Disclosure is on a downturn. People's participation in people's wanting to see where it's going to go is going down.
And I'm
wish
not
it
even
wasn't,
interested
but
in
it
the craft
is.
anymore. I want to know what's inside. I want to know what they are.
Well, let's forget about exactly. Forget about the craft. The DOD has been kiboshing everything about the craft because if we talk about the craft, we're talking about a matter of national security. We're talking about something that goes under our our laws we put in place in 1952 to go ahead and take anything with nuclear materials and make it against the law to talk about or to disclose. Right?
Yeah, that's insane.
Forget about the vehicle. let's take the example of we have a van that's driving around a neighborhood. It might have a V8 and snow tires in July.
And some kids in the back.
No, we can't talk about the kids in the back. We're only, and it is it's a steel frame, and it's got a V8, 350 horsepower. Forget about the craft. Forget about what it can do. Talk about who's inside the craft. Oh, we have some potential vagrants who are driving around in this craft who are trying to abduct your children and do horrible things to them. Yeah, forget about the tinted windows, but who is inside the craft? And more importantly, what are they doing here and what do they want to do with whatever they're doing here, right, Tia?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Mocha. Oh, you want a cookie?
She agrees.
Yeah.
She's a smart girl.
Oh, yeah. She knows where to come for the cookies.
That's right. She's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those things that we're going to get past. But what's their culture? For who cares what their culture is like? Who cares what they think? Who are they? What are they doing here? That's the biggest thing we all need to be concerned with.
Yeah. And I want to know why is it following him around this green light? Why is it in his home? And that to me is like intrusion at the top level. I'm sure he didn't say, come on in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is scary to me a little bit.
Yeah, but do you think this stuff has the ability to go ahead and go in anyone's home, to go ahead and infect anyone's consciousness? That's where it's truly at. But that's where we're talking about, my friend.
Yeah. And I wonder what he knows about that.
Yeah.
Because I bet you he knows some stuff.
Yeah, potentially, but getting back to Luis Elizondo, because that's what it's about. Apparently, believe it or not, Luis Elizondo is going to be starting his momentum behind his new book release, besides the article coming out today from the New York Post, coming from, New York Times, coming from Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Keene. What am I talking about? We're talking about CBS this morning's. Remember CBS? Oh, they're the low man on the totem pole. On Monday morning, Luis Elizondo. Oh, shit. Where'd it go? It's back here. Luis Elizondo. It's at the bottom of the page here. Let me bring it up a little bit more. Luis Elizondo is going to be appearing on CBS Mornings. He'll probably get his 5 to 10 minutes at most to talk about IMMINENT inside the Pentagon's hunt for UFOs. We don't have an announcement for Joe Rogan. We don't have an answer yet for whether or not he'll be on Tucker or on X, but he will be on CBS Mornings as a start. It seems like a slow start. Hopefully, Tia, it's going to pick up from then. What do you think?
I think it's going to explode.
I hope so.
I think it's going to explode, and I think we need this, to be quite honest. So I hope it goes everywhere. And he has such integrity. You know, he's just the right man for the job, I believe.
Yeah.
Not everybody could do it, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now to get back to another clip we've got coming forward. Christopher Mellon, well-connected intelligence analyst Matthew Pines, someone of the caliber of David Grush and stuff, is going to come forward. Now, coming to us from that UFO podcaster saying, buckle up. Let's get into this and see where it's going to take us next. All right, folks, here we go.
It's either John Brennan or Leon Panetta. I have no idea who either of those are. And then they say blink, one eye for Brennan, two for Panetta. Now, you you mentioned basically a figure known, I think your wording is known if you watch the news in the US, would come out and talk about the UAP subject. That's what you alluded to, essentially. Is that right?
Yes. So I'm aware of one individual, and I have, the name has been told to me in strict confidence. And I'm not just saying this because like, oh, I know something you don't know. It's more like if you say the name, you could potentially, change the course of otherwise events, right?
Yeah.
You could, trigger pressures to be brought that, I'm sure this individual would not want to be brought. But it keeps in the logic that I was mentioning earlier in terms of David Grush opening the door to technology of unknown origin, biological materials, testimony to Congress. He was a relatively senior GS-15, but he's a 36-year-old. No one had ever heard of him before. He was like a mid-level bureaucrat, well-respected inside that community, and had all the credentials and tickets and accesses and obviously the knowledge to come forward in the way that he did. But fundamentally, he's David Grush, right? He's not another, person. Carl Nell, similar, but a little bit more senior, right? Was a retired colonel, but also an Army liaison to the UAP task force. Has, had more bars on his chest, and had held positions in private government and in private aerospace, CTO, et cetera. That, one notch, two notches higher from David Grush, right? You've had Christopher Mellon, endorse some of those same things. He was deputy undersecretary or assistant secretary. You've had Luis Elizondo, who was a GS-15 as well. So you've had folks, with sterling professional bona fides, but are not, what you would imagine would be folks for the UAP Records Review Board would be, individuals with sort of national renown, right? Of national significance to come out and say those same things. And that.
But remember, we've had the former director of national intelligence, James Ratcliffe, bring out the truth about UAPs and say, yes, they're real. We're seeing them from space. We're seeing from other places. This stuff is real. So we've had people who are from the highest level of the governments at this point. John Brennan, who used to be the director of the CIA, to bring out the truth on this. Tia, your thoughts?
I was just gonna say his name and he died, but he was high up in the Canadian special intelligence too. That was saying that these things were real, and Israel's one of Israel's top guys too.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Really high government officials have come out already. I mean, tons of them.
Yeah.
So is he insinuating that somebody higher than Grush and Lou are coming out? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
or
what he's insinuating. But I was just bringing out that we've already had people who was the director of national intelligence and the head of the CIA already come forward and say there's a there. So how are we going to get higher than that otherwise than bringing the same people, dragging the same people out who made the statements in the past, Tia?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, so it would have to be maybe the second to the president. I mean, besides the vice president, who is it?
Well, you have to look at from what's going on within the overall structure of the White House. This is a cover-up that's led from the executive branch of the White House. Without a doubt in my mind, that is where it's coming from. If you look at it, it's coming from the Department of Energy. It's coming from all the three-letter intelligence agencies. The cover-up is coming from the DOD. And where do all those agencies and all those individuals report to? The President of the United States. Well, people say the President doesn't know shit about this. Well, what happened when Jake Sullivan was supposed to bring out the truth after when we had all the shoot-downs of UAPs that were going on? First in Dead Horse, Alaska, then in the Yukon of Canada, then over, they tried to get him over Malmstrom Air Force Base, North Dakota, and they actually went and shot it down potentially over Lake Huron. Where's all the proof? Where's all the information? We see tons of information come forward on a regular basis. showing what the Russians are doing, what the Chinese are doing. We have up-close videos of them showing it. But you know what? Any of this stuff regarding any of those craft is still classified at the highest levels of secrecy. It's a cover-up, as Tim Burchett would call it out as.
So can I put this out there? You know how we all know that President Biden's really not all there. So is there a possibility that there could be a faction that's taking advantage of this situation to try to push this out right now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know. I would have to say whatever's going on with his administration, whether it's led by him or not, it's led by his handlers, and that's what they're trying to shut down. They're trying to shut down any ability to bring this truth forward. Let's focus on the cost of groceries and how they've gone up. But if you look at it, avocados have gone up 50%, ground beef has gone up 50%, and this is still going back to January of this year. And they want to blame the grocers for the increase in pricing and our restaurants for the increase in pricing. But the truth of the matter is they are just passing along the increases that are coming to them, whether from outside the country and inside the country. So going and trying to put in place communist style price controls, it's not going to work, is it, Tia?
No, it's not. It's going to make it worse.
I know. And the truth of the matter is it's going to make disclosure worse. We need us to say, screw it all, bring forward the truth. Ross Colhart, you know where a craft is that had to be covered by a building? Tell us. Lou, you've got other information. Whistleblowers, you've got other information. If you've got the information, or Gary Nolan, he has results available, right? He has results available from additional tests that he's done to go ahead and prove stuff, whether it's extraterrestrial or not. But what are we waiting for on this scientific information? Oh, another movie to come forward. Stop taking disclosure and locking it behind media releases, because all we're doing is putting together another layer on top of a layer on top of a layer of obfuscation and turning it into pay-for-play information. That's my problem with where we're at. We need to come together and bring any information out, not find additional pay-for-play manners to bring the information out. You know what I mean, Tia? It pisses me off. I'm sure it pisses a lot of people off.
It does. And it's not fair. It's not fair that we, we're all in this together. God knows what's coming. And it needs to come out. It's time.
Yes.
It's time.
Are we going to interview Lou? Yes, we got confirmation on that today, that Lou has heard through myself, through Jennifer, through multiple people many times about Lou coming on the channel. He's got a lot of stuff lined up through his publisher, but we still haven't gotten a date yet. So yes, Lou will be here. Not sure how soon or how late, but 6-8 months ago, he told Mike and myself in a conversation, you're going to be the first place we're going to stop at. But you know what? Today, I can't guarantee it. It is what it is. Hopefully, he'll be here eventually.
Oh, yeah, I believe that he will.
Yeah.
I think you were very instrumental in the beginning of him coming out.
Oh, gosh, when he got attacked, we were the attack dogs. Now he has other attack dogs that are in there, like Matt Ford and others who are sticking their neck out. I got tired of the attacks and the death threats. Yes, I've had multiple death threats against me over the years. Have I gotten out there and said, oh my God, you look at me, I've got a death threat against me? No, I've been quiet. Because when that comes in, you let it go, you let it pass, and get past it. But that's the kind of stuff you run into when you support the man.
Yeah, and you have done that, hands down, faithfully. And, I love you for that, to be quite honest.
Thank you, Tia. And I love everybody in this community. I love everybody who watches this channel. And that's why we're talking about the first, if you want to call it, review of the book. Yes, I've got the book. No, I don't have the book from Lou. But you know what? 18 chapters were available for download as a PDF from Google. thanks to someone in the publishing community who filled out a form wrong, and I would pin it on the same people who filled out the form wrong that actually got his book name released when it shouldn't have been released. You know what I mean, Tia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always something, right?
Yeah. Harold, do you have your hand up? I'm going to give you the floor for about 30 seconds as I go to visit the library. Go ahead, my friend.
All right. I was just going to go back and, the master of puppets here and stuff.
Yep.
You had like, who's that? Donald Trump's uncle. He was involved in the stuff. And you had Vandenauer Bush. He was involved in it after World War II and stuff. So it's the office of the executives, right? Like you said, it's the president's office. It's not the people in the office. It's the title of the office that holds the secrets, right? Does that make sense, anybody?
Absolutely, it does. I think that's what's happening right now. I think because of it's so unstable right now. It's never been so unstable like it is right now. Not in my lifetime, anyway. So,
right.
What do you think? What do you think about maybe that's why so much stuff is trying to be pushed out right now because they're taking advantage of the dysfunction in the office of the presidency.
I think that definitely plays into it too. Yeah, if something was to slip or something, that would be part of the game plan too.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
And so today, I heard that Ukraine invaded Russia. I don't know how true that is, but I heard that.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
Girl,
Yeah.
that was yesterday. Yes, they did, and they've blown up bridges and other stuff. They actually got access to their full rail system to understand where all the rail cars are and where they're going to figure it out. Yes, Russia has made a huge blunder, and depending on what it's going, this could actually bring in the use of tactical nukes in Ukraine. Just saying.
Which is crazy.
Oh, I know.
So would this be the right time? Would they step in, you think, NHI?
Never.
No?
Come on. We blew up not one, but two nukes in Japan, right? There have been over 2,000 nukes that have been blown up below ground, above ground, in the atmosphere, in the ocean since then. Have they stopped us on any one of those to date? When we had the tsunami in Thailand years ago, did they stop in place to save the people from the 150-foot waves that were coming in? None. When we've had genocides going on around the world, famines going on in Africa and other places, have they ever stepped in? Never.
No.
So, would they step in potentially? If it's going to cause a worldwide conflict, maybe. However, don't hold your breath on it. Because we haven't seen them step in on that kind of level yet.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't. I just, it is wishful thinking.
Fukushima. How about Chernobyl? We haven't seen them step in. We've seen them in the air around the stuff, checking this stuff out. Have they actually done something to stop it? No.
They've actually pointed them at us and turned them on.
Yeah.
Us and Russia.
Yeah.
It was like, so.
I wish it was different, Tia. I wish it was different. Freezerman71, you have your hand up, my friend?
Thank you, Thomas. I totally agree with what you just said. And as far as the nukes, I'm more worried about Israel going into to fight Hezbollah in Lebanon, resorting to using TAC nukes because they can't.
It's not going to come from them. If that's going to be coming in the Middle East, it's going to be coming from Iran.
Possibly.
Hezbollah doesn't have the ability to manufacture nuclear weapons. The only ones in that region who have that ability are the Iranians.
Well, Thomas, if TAC nukes were used, it would be the Israelis who would use it against Hezbollah.
I don't know where it's going to go, my friend. It is all up in the air, and we could go ahead and speculate on it, but all we can say is, Moose. It's a crazy world these days, to say the least. On that note, wow, what an interesting show. What a great time. Who would have thought that an hour could go so quickly? Yes, we're here to go ahead and talk about the latest information about Lou's book coming out. We got the first review coming out. We've got a lot of people in our audience who are going to go out there and be buying the book. I'm one of those people included. Can't wait to listen to it. Can't wait to read it, my friends. On that note, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out. Tonight's episode of Disclosure Tonight, more importantly, sound effects, where is it at? I'm going to go ahead and thank the people for your wonderful super chats tonight. Who am I talking about? Let's go ahead and thank who gave us super chats? David Jones, FaZe Will, and Ian Harding. Thank you very much for your love and support of everything Disclosure Tonight. More importantly, I want to thank our friends who have been in the back today. That would include Brian Pemble. Brian, I didn't even see you show up, my friend. Thank you for being here.
No, I kind of snuck in late, but great show, and look forward to the back chat with everybody on a Friday.
Oh, you better believe it, my friend. I also want to thank FreezerMan71. Thank you for coming in tonight, my friend.
You're welcome, Thomas. I enjoy listening to you guys because you're all smart.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate that. Hollywood Herald, appreciate you being here tonight, my friend.
Yep, I'm proud to be part of the back chat here, part of the brain trust, right? We got to get things going here.
You better believe it, my friend. Thank you for coming out tonight. Absolutely. Also want to thank Laura Campbell. Thank you for coming out today, Laura.
You're welcome, Thomas. Maybe I can share some of the information I got on the book and other things in the future.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my gosh. I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. Next time.
No. Let's hear it right now, my friend. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Let's pull back the end of the show. Let's hear from Laura Campbell, our remote viewing targeter, to see what you have to bring forward to us. I'm sorry. I got out into the show and everything else, and I don't have Mike here to control me, so.
Well, I kind of discussed this earlier on in the chat, but so this will be a repeat for some of you. We did target this book, and this is what we got. Well, this was interesting, and I did share this. An image came up, a gray square with two black marks on it. Now, we don't know exactly what that is. Is it a badge? You're suggesting checking the I Ching? If anybody out there knows, maybe Lou knows what that means, but that came through. Also, the book will move the needle, but more so later on. We were shown the author Dolores Cannon. She wrote books on metaphysics and hypnosis that became big much later on. There will be a delayed response. People in our community, of course, will be, buying it. It'll be a big deal, but we're talking worldwide. Later on, people will say, holy crap, he tried to tell us. Now it's happening. Once this book picks up traction, then it will go out to the masses. So I'm suggesting that the autographed copy may gain in value. So I asked, how long will this disclosure unfolding last? It could take a 4 to 25 years span. But the government does have that.
I'll be dead by then.
2036 is the government's plan.
Well, 2035 is supposedly when the big alien thing is going to happen here. So we'll have to see where that goes.
Okay.
Not 2027 or 2035, last we heard.
So that was just that, and I'll let you go.
Thank you very much, Laura. Yeah, I'm sorry I was delayed to bring that out. On that note, I also want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out. Also, none of your business. Thanks for coming out tonight, Susan.
You're welcome, Thomas. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege being here. Thank you.
FaZe Will, appreciate you coming on. Thank you for that super chat.
Welcome. Good show.
And Tia Loreno, thank you for the great conversation, my dear lady.
Always, always. I love having conversations with you, Thomas.
Oh, thank you. We should always have a conversation off the show sometime, my dear lady. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
We would definitely get in some rabbit holes, I'll tell you.
Oh, absolutely, my dear lady. As we usually say at the end of every broadcast of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone, but
go back to Party City where you belong.
You better believe it. Absolutely. Good night, everybody. Love you. I'll come back now here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.